toys with the technical difficulties. man, they tell you that live streaming is going to be challenging. They say that you're going to, no matter how hard you try, you're going to be presented with unforeseen and unpredictable circumstances to deal with. And so, hopefully, luckily, if I'm lucky, everything's working. And it is the MrNoBones.com program. Hello, cool cats and kittens, fuzzy friends and feisty fuckers. It's your friendly neighborhood boneless man, joining you once more again, one more time, one more goddamn time, for the MrNoBones.com program. I'm still here, just hold on. Fucking Christ. See? Still. Into the low. All right. See, I like to come on stream with my hair all nice, good and shaved. Feeling good, feeling prepared, mentally focused upon my internal process as well as my external process of doing this live stream thing. See, there's fucking smear on the camera. Hold on. Not that it really matters that much, seeing as my stream's still kind of potatoey. And, but gotta do what you gotta do. Gotta stay focused. Gotta roll with the punches. And gotta keep it moving. So, today on the MrNoBones.com program, I'm just going to tell you what the hell I just fucking went through. Just to get here and do this thing with you that I would really like to do. And every time that something interrupts my do, it makes me want to strangle you. Not you, the people listening to me, but the you that is a force that's opposing. So, my beautiful, incredibly talented, and smart life partner, Casey. She told me, hey, you should before you stream, you should private stream and watch the stream to test out if it's working properly. Because, man, I've been going into these just completely blind and have been rolling the dice and having mixed results, right? And so I'm working on currently, as you can hopefully see, little bit better graphical presentation all around, little bit more professional presentation all the way around. this stream. I am extremely extremely proud, honestly, to inform and be a part of and make it so, number one, MrNoBonesLive.com, which is an extension of MrNoBones.com, and which will not only dynamically, without having to futz around with distributing YouTube URLs for upcoming live streams that then crash and generate a new URL, which I can't do anything about, which completely ruins the intake pathway for said stream, especially the first 20 to 30 minutes of my stream. Even people who tune into me on a regular basis and really try to catch my streams live as often as possible, even they find themselves missing out. And it really sucks because I can see my queue of people waiting for my stream stack up, and then buzz, the fucking blue screen of death sound. And I just know that now I'm sitting here looking at a 2 when I should be looking at a 5 or a 7. So sitting down today, which means I have to practice much more fastidious postural technique for the extended comfort and future pain management. Gotta stack my spine. Gotta make my spine like that Jenga tower that holds itself up. Everything leans on everything else. And so I'm testing my stream privately, tuning in on multiple devices, making sure it works on MrNoBonesLive.com, making sure that it works nicely on TV, my smart TV, as well as my computer and my phone, and blah, 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 blah. Everything's great. And then I activate or I shouldn't say everything's great. I really had to wrestle with the sound input system, which I have, an external USB, just 2-channel sound card to pipe the audio from my mixing board over to this ding-danger. But you didn't really need to know that. But what I did find, hey baby, what I did find out during my testing was that the audio input configuration in OBS and Streamlabs that I had used without any kind of issues up to this point. Let me turn this off and just see how it looks. Suddenly, no matter how hard I tried, it would register as seeing my audio in my streaming software, but my end stream had no audio, and no matter what I tried that had worked previously in the past, all of a sudden it just wasn't working. So this is in the hour, I started this an hour before stream time, right? So, and it was, everything had been just working perfectly last night when I tested it all out and got all my, got everything configured. And so it was already kind of stressful, right? Because I'm trying to get myself into a like kind of like internal space psycho-emotionally. And so stress level rising as the clock's ticking, and I'm stream after stream after stream. No sound. Fuck. So changing internal configuration. Bang. Sound. Yay. So Jesus Christ. Sorry. Again. Central nervous system. I have major central nervous system damage, so please bear with me. And a heightened psycho-emotional state is very off. It throws me off my game. So I'm trying to get back on my game, but we're all doing this here together. It's live. It's a live stream. And today, not only are we, for the first time, broadcasting at MrNoBonesLive.com, in addition to on the YouTube channel as normal. And if you're watching on YouTube and you chat and you interact and whatnot, you can get you got some functionality on the screen. You're going to see some new cool stuff. But if you head over to MrNoBonesLive.com, or just go over to MrNoBones.com and click the live button, whichever works for you, both equally easy, you're going to find a whole new host of ways that you can interact with my channel, and that you can get more live interactivity here with me on your screen in beautiful 1080p. So I finally got my audio shit dealt with. I'm putting everything in its place. God, now camera, why are you doing that? Let's try this. See? Stop. Fuck. Okay. I guess I need to not gesture so fucking I need to not shoot so much chi at the camera. I fucking broke it. So this is interesting. This is also my first time monitoring myself, not only on my streaming computer over here, but on my TV over here. And it's weird because there's a 20-second delay. So anyway, things were being properly configured and acting in the way I expect and predict, and getting ready for the stream, and notice that the audio that had just been working, as soon as I hit live, stopped working. See, look, now the screen's all greasy again. I'm gonna fucking kill somebody. So the audio just cut the fuck out. And look at that. That's much nicer, isn't it? And I was already live. And I knew if I shut the stream down to fix the audio, it would kill the URL, and we'd be fucking dealing with that whole schmear. Now, again, MrNobonesLive.com, that's why that's there. It's because now, and you don't have to futz around with fucking changing YouTube URLs. You can always go to MrNobonesLive.com. But I tried to fix the... God damn it, man. I'm going to kill this thing. Stop. It's the fucking auto exposure on this thing. Oh my Christ. Is it stopping? Okay. Live streaming, y'all. This is my job. And can you believe I do it for free? God. So, I tried to fix the audio problem. Blue screen of death. Crashed the computer. Fucking this box. It's not the hottest box. It's an older HP laptop that was gifted to me by my good friend Michael Brown, and it's got just enough power to do what I need to do. Now you'll notice my switching cameras card when I cut from camera to camera, that's because it's got a USB 2 bus instead of a 3, which means it doesn't have enough RAM in the USB bus to support 3 cameras at the same time, or even more than one camera at once. So it takes a second. They have to turn on and off. There's all kinds of nonsense associated with that as well. So I restart the stream, restart the countdown, just figure, hey, I need to give people time to populate again, doodly doodly do. And right that moment, my phone rings, and it's my... what are you saying? It is my... Yeah, I know. Well, this is part of live streaming, baby. I'm sorry. My lawyer calls, and I have, less than 5 minutes to deal with a new evolving aspect of my legal case. But made it in time. Here I am. And Casey, you're right. I should get to the point faster. Like always. I shouldn't spend the first half hour talking about how hard it is to be a live streamer. Because, So, today on the MrNobones.com program, we're talking about what I refer to as the Great Spiral Theorem. And there is a hyper-condensed Cliff Notes primer about this at MrNobones.com. If you just go to my blog section, which you scroll down the main page, or click on blog, flip over a couple of entries, and you'll see the Great Spiral Theorem. And it's just one big paragraph that it is a hyper-condensed Cliff Notes version of what I refer to as my personal perspective on life, the universe, and everything. And, the meaning of life, the meaning of consciousness, and the overlap of the Venn diagrams of how ancient people tried to understand life, the universe, and everything, cavemen, versus how spacemen try to understand life, the universe, and everything. And as the generation who are blessed with the opportunity to witness the transition from cavemen to spacemen, to witness the death of the old world and the birth of the new. You know, we're there was an and a you know. We are living a transitionary period of history, and that is both exciting and scary, right? Because with any transition from one phase to another of anything at any scale, order of magnitude, there's only two ways to change: slowly and gradually, smoothing as the waves smooth the stone, or quickly and violently, like when the tectonic plates shift and the pressure is released through an earthquake and a volcano, right? So, the Great Spiral theorem, and this being a hypothesis, okay, which is why I don't call it the Great Spiral theory, because in science, a theory is something that is considered proven. And my hypothesis encompasses a large amount of multi-layered conceptual data, concepts, as well as actual scientific theory and knowledge, and attempts over a lifetime of noticing the world around me and asking questions, and then as a multidisciplinary person, noticing the overlap between systems, and this is broadly multi-contextual, right? But the overlap between systems tends to represent fairly provable or proven concepts and ideas and knowledge and data. And I will pause, which, let me ask, I see I got two people right now viewing. Holler in chat. Pop up on the screen for me. I want to see your beautiful names pop up on my screen, and we can interact a little bit. It's fun, but you don't have to. So I'm going to now pause and preface the rest of what I have to say with: I am neither a scientist, a philosopher, or an expert in any organized religion. I am simply a person who has asked questions broadly my whole life and grown up in the birth of the information age, and have over time, both through my personal practices and philosophization, deep thinking, think deeply on this, Musashi says. And my ability to Google and read and educate myself about ancient cultures, ancient religions and belief structures, ancient ancient history, how we got from there to here. And also, dually, with a mind that has always been scientific and interested in both the end result data of science, but also the scientific method and how that piece of this is real and I can prove it reached that state, right? And as such, and thirdly, I, as a person who has spent time begrudgingly in proximity to very active woo-woo, and if you're not familiar with the term woo-woo, it just kind of means like new agey pseudoscience fad, whatever, The Secret. I'm blanking on a couple of the other ones, but anyway, I spent 10 years in begrudging proximity to someone who, on a professional level, one of my ex mentor teachers, who was a woo-woo bullshit salesman. He was someone who took something that was already distasteful to me and then did it right in my face and trying to make money off it hard as he could, calling himself the abundance coach while never being in the black in all the 10 years that I ever saw him or worked with him. But I have an extreme distaste for fatty, new agey pseudoscience bullshit. However, I also am a person who, at age 14, finally could not accept the amount of hypocrisy that I was personally exposed to in my early years of being raised by primarily my non-religious parents, but secondarily, auxiliary, my grandparents, right? And not in a my mom and dad abandoned me sort of way, but just in the way that our grandparents influence us as small children. And so I reached a point where I said, I'm not Christian. I don't believe in the Christian God and Jesus, and I very specifically reject organized Christian religion, churches. And, I'm from Texas, and I grew up in the shadows of some of the very first hyper evangelical, fundamentalist Christian mega churches. Pardon my gastric distress. I do my best. So I started learning about Wicca at the time. And as with many systems and practices that I have incorporated into my personal holistic systems and practices, it acted as a jumping off point into, the broader world of just what I'll call being witchiness and witchy ways. And some could call it natural magic, or some could call it paganism, and it's drawing from. But the thing is, my practice over the years, which, after a few years, probably when I got into my 20s, the whole ritualistic magic, ritualism aspect of it faded. I at that time was really getting deep into Reddit and got into the /atheism crew, and became one of those militant, I'm gonna argue with you about how there's no God, but that really wasn't a sustainable mindset for me, because the idea that the world only exists, or I should say, what we can observe and measure of the world and reality are the only things that exist. Oh snap! Priscilla! What's up, Sarah Angel? The great Sarah Avenger popping up in my chat. What up, girl? Priscilla is now my lone patronizer. No, she doesn't ever patronize me. She just gives me $15 a month, and that's fucking cool. So thank you for that, my long and storied friend. So in my practices in that phase of my martial arts life, I was delving deeply into yoga, qigong, tai chi, and Russian sistema. And I know that last one is probably not very recognizable, and if you do recognize it, you might have some goofy ideas about, or you might have some ideas about what it is and isn't, and I would be happy to clarify, because there is plenty of bullshit and pseudoscience and all of that in Russian sistema, as well as egotism, hero worship, fucking, anyway. But in those practices, which each in their own way bring on a state of heightened awareness and sensitivity of the world around you, how you experience it, and some of the underlying, it's a little peek under the hood, and you can start, or I should say, you can, with dedication and with a drive and desire to continually push further into a practice that you find both enjoyable, informative, and growing, for lack of a better term, right? Enhancing, I guess. Anyway, they can all produce states of heightened consciousness, okay? And so that's kind of a concept that I want you to grab onto and remember is states of heightened consciousness, okay? And so I was forced to let go of atheism and transition into eclectic agnosticism. And the underlying foundation of which for me was I don't know nothing. Like the things that I can prove myself to you, you can count on your fingers and toes, right? It's very small. And I will tell you what I know, and I'll back it up with what I believe, okay? And anything that I say, which, again, asterisk, if you're listening to me as a teacher or a thinker or a philosophizer or whatever, I will say your judgment is a little suspect because I'm crazy and I've never fit in. I've never felt what fitting in felt like for many years of my life. And I'm weird and I'm kind of dumb, but I'm not stupid. And it's hard to pull one over on me unless I pull one over on myself. So my agnosticism became informed first initially by my past experience and belief in ritualistic natural magic practices and energy work, spell casting. And my current new, growing in breadth and depth, lived experiences of personal practice that is extreme. It was extreme in intensity, in depth, in duration, and in these high level and very prolonged periods of a single practice or set of, we'll say a single practice, I truly experienced some states of heightened consciousness and was suddenly witness, perceiving things that are typically outside of the human range of perception. And so I want to talk for a moment about the human range of perception. Our idea of reality and the real world and how it worked and what it was made of and the fundamental building blocks of reality pre, let's say, microscope. Just arbitrary point where we made a really big shift in our understanding of reality. train of thought. I began to experience both heightened awareness. Oh, yes. Our pre-microscope, our perspective on the world, right, was very different from post-microscope. Telescope, another good one, right? The first piece of glass that was curved and put in a tube with another smaller piece of glass, and focal point found, and could see deeper into the night sky. Our world got a hell of a lot bigger when that happened, right? Our universe, I'll say. Our reality. And at the same time, I began to also change my perspective on this concept of what we call magic and magic users. My new definition of magic, after witnessing and experiencing some things that were outside the realm of what you can call potential coincidence. Okay? Some highly improbable coincidences. And not just witnessing them, but first being in the presence of someone capable of seeing them coming, and then later in the role of a person who actually was able to see this coming, and then it happened. So magic really is real as fuck, right? Like, before we understood that there was a light spectrum outside of the visible light spectrum, we did not have any understanding of wavelengths, of ultraviolet and infrared, and the radiological spectrum that goes up and down from the energy waves that we call visible light, or I should say the dual state particle waves that we call photons, visible light. But there's been a lot of stuff in very recent history, just in the last generation or two, right? Not like eons ago in a land far... No, like, within a couple of generations, that if you would have told them, hey, this aspect of reality is like this, it is explained in this way, and this is how we measured and prove it, they'd fucking lock you up and throw away the key, right? They'd put you